What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Kinda Funny Reacts to Wonder Woman. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/producer, Nick Scarpino.
Hi, Greg.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well.
It's a good song. I don't care what Tim says.
Tim's a fool. He's a fool.
Nick, today we're joined by YouTube sensation Alexis Pence.
Yay!
Hey guys.
Yay! And her husband, Hunter Pence.
Never heard of it.
San Francisco Giant, Hunter Pence. Yay! If you've never watched a Kinda Funny Reacts to a movie, the rules are simple. We will go spoiler-free. Tell you all about the movie, but without spoiling anything. If we thought it was good, if we thought it was bad, then at one point we'll say, all right, it's time to get spoilery. We'll give you 2 seconds, and then we'll get into the spoilers. So spoiler-free, Alexis.
Thank you. I was chewing ice. I don't know if it was
You're
going
the
to me, but I was
worst.
like,
You're the worst.
I'm gonna try my
goes in my
best
mouth.
to be spoiler free. I'm the
Spoiler-free.
worst at this game.
Kevin's gonna
You
come
got
yell
this.
at
Oh
you.
yeah,
You got
I'm the
this.
worst at this game,
can be
so
spoiler-free.
I'll try. I'll try my
watch.
best.
What did you think of Wonder Woman the film? Spoiler-free.
I loved it. I liked it.
Well, those are different words now, aren't they?
Loved it.
You're right. You're right. You're right. I loved it.
Okay, you loved it.
I did.
Wow.
I did.
Okay.
I loved
Okay.
it.
Great.
Like we were saying.
Gal Gadot.
Gal
Gadot?
Gadot.
I say Godot.
I watched the video already. I forgot.
Play it for the audience because people are going to be like, it's Godot, it's Godot, it's Godot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gadot. Where were you on this? You're the Fast and Furious super fan. You couldn't memorize this for me?
It's so hard. Until I hear the celebrities say their own name, I don't believe it. Like, I still think
Alexis, you loved it.
Yes.
What about Gal?
She was perfect. She
Okay.
was perfect.
Right.
And I felt like I was saying this earlier, as the movie went on, she got more and more perfect. And I was like, how is this even possible? I mean, she was great. She was strong.
Yeah.
She held the movie. Like,
Yeah.
she was perfect. I
Big
don't
fan
even
of
remember
Chris
anyone
Pine, too.
else.
Chris Pine, he
in the
did a
movie.
great job, I
I
thought.
thought they had really good chemistry.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things I was talking about when we were walking back to the car. So I'm like, I can forgive a lot in a movie. Not that there's much that needs to be forgiven here, but with Thor, for instance, it's like, it's not the best superhero movie ever made, but I really liked Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman.
Sure.
And in this, I thought they had good chemistry. I thought they genuinely looked like they cared for each other with
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, of course, and Gal Gadot. It was good. It was fun.
I also felt like she was believable in the sense that she could really pull off those moves and be athletic and be...
Just called him Chris Pratt. Gonna get torn apart for that. It's Chris Pine. Sorry about that.
It's okay. We're just going to let you
There's
go.
15 people that just went,
yeah.
yeah, and just ripped their phone apart because
Damn.
I said that.
People get
I
really
apologize
mad.
for
No, you're
interrupting
good.
you.
You're
They
good.
do.
I'm
You
glad
can't screw those
you
names
had...
up.
Yeah.
No, you
It's good.
got to save yourself, don't you?
Martha.
Don't bring up Martha! Don't bring up Martha right now in this.
Oh, that's the perfect time for Martha.
Hunter, what did you think? What did you think of Wonder Woman?
I was highly entertained.
Yeah?
I was very entertained. I
Okay.
thought there was a lot of great scenes that
Yeah.
I just thoroughly enjoyed.
Okay.
And the story, I was in it. And
Sure.
I agree completely that the chemistry. I felt a little emotion in their whole little relationship as it grew.
Yeah.
The timing of it was pretty good, of the push pull of a relationship in movies.
Sure. Yeah.
There was some fight scenes, like I felt like a connection to like other movies that I've seen all put together into this. There was
Yeah.
like Matrix-y fight scenes,
Yeah.
and there was gladiator fight scenes, and some artsy fight scenes. So like to me, as far as these movies go, I'm not looking to like change my life, but I was
Right.
highly entertained, and I was better than I expected.
Okay. And then Nick, what did you come down on this one?
Oh, I liked it. I liked it. I thought
Okay.
it's. I think it's definitely one of the better DC movies. I don't know where it sits.
Sure.
In them, you know, I was talking to Finnegan earlier, and he was like, "I definitely think this is kind of around Man of Steel," and I'm like, "Yeah, I can kind of see that. I might put it a little bit above it because I feel like the story was straightforward, told well,
Sure.
kind of made
Good
sense from
story,
start to be
too.
finished. Like, okay, cool.
Well,
good
I would put
story.
it above Man of Steel, and I would say, especially because for an origin story, this I thought made sense for who Wonder Woman becomes, who she is throughout the movie, her
Yeah.
motivations. There wasn't for me like in Man of Steel when Kevin Costner tells him not to come save him. You're like, you're Superman. Just blink in and blink out and
Yeah.
save your
Come on,
dad. What are
guy.
you doing? You know what I mean? And there wasn't a disconnect like that where all of Wonder Woman's choices, I thought, Diana's choices leading
Kind
up
of
to
made
this
sense,
made
yeah.
sense.
And I liked that they skated the line with her of like someone who was a little bit naive of the modern world,
Sure.
but still knew stuff.
Yeah.
Like we were talking about that a little bit as we all walked out, where we're like, she knows about sex, she knows about men, she knows what drives people. She's not a complete and total imbecile when she
Yeah,
walks
yeah.
out of this bubble, that literally bubble of the island. She understands the world.
Yeah.
She just doesn't get humans, right? Because she hasn't been around them all the time.
So this was part of the thing that I really loved about the movie, even though it was so like, I felt like it was reminiscent of Elf.
Okay.
Okay.
Give me that.
Okay.
I don't want to spoil
Journey
here,
as much.
but like,
Well, you wait. Yeah, you can save it if you want to save your point till when we get to spoilers.
I
You can
don't.
take your
I don't think
gloves
this is a
off.
spoiler. I don't
Okay.
think this is a spoiler.
Okay.
No. But
When she dies.
yeah, when she dies, like in the city or whatever, is that
That entire name, I was like, haven't people seen Elf by now?
like, come on,
Like, Elf spoilers. What are we worried about here?
Yeah, just Elf going to New York and her when she shows
Sure.
up to humanity.
Yeah, I
Sure,
love
that's
it's like
cool,
it
yeah.
just it was to me. I was like, this is like Elf but different, and I love
Sure.
it.
Yeah,
more adult version, yeah.
they had that playful moment, like where she's trying on the dress, all that stuff, and I think
Yeah.
they didn't overplay that because in the previews, I remember you watching, you're like, God, with the secretary because she got all the
I
clips
liked
and stuff
the
like that.
secretary.
So the
My-
fisticuffs.
Yeah, I wanted more of the
I
secretary.
stand by the fact that this is another movie where the jokes I felt were just ruined by the trailers, and not every joke, but a lot of them there, where it was like. The secretary, here comes the setup. She's we call that slavery. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
All right, well,
There it
I
is.
knew that
Good-
was coming.
really good line, too.
And that was a great line.
Yeah.
The whole, even when she's like trying on dresses, and she's like, "How does anyone fight in this?" And it's like, remember this from the trailer. This kind of sucks that this has been ruined. Now there were parts from that thing that I did not expect that we can get into in spoilers, but I was surprised by more than a few scenes. We got her. One of my big fears going into this is that we weren't going to see the Wonder Woman costume and her be Wonder Woman until literally the third act. So we got that early on. I was like, all right, great. That's midway through the movie, we could get that scene.
They teased it a little bit here and there.
Yeah.
And we saw it, so it wasn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it was. I think a pretty good reveal.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm a huge DC Comics fan. I felt like the deck was stacked against Wonder Woman for me coming into it. I'm a huge DC fan, and I like Wonder Woman in the lens of the Justice League. But whenever we get into just Wonder Woman stories, I kind of get like, all right, cool. So when they were like, Ares is in this film, and but I was like, oh, all right, we're doubling down on things I don't super love about it, but I'm in there. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I had a good time with it. I think that the fight scenes are incredible. I thought all the fight scenes were awesome.
That's one of the hardest. As they make more and more of these superhero movies, like it's harder and harder for them to do something different with these fight scenes. And I thought there was a couple really good moments there, especially. I don't know if it's spoilery, but like there's moments that you see in the trailer that are oddly reminiscent, and you called it earlier, where you're like, someone that was watching Batman v Superman was like, you know what the coolest part of that movie was? When Batman just wrecks
Batman,
people,
as you said,
and they were like, let's just do that a bunch with Wonder Woman,
Yeah.
and it actually more often than not, I thought worked.
There was some.
totally.
Well, in Batman vs Superman, like I felt like he was just so tanky though. Where like in this one, it was just smoother. It was like
There was more
It was
athletic.
like a Cirque
the
du
fight scenes were
Soleil.
way more athletic. Yeah,
Yeah,
which
There
where
was
we were like,
creativity
whoa.
and cool moves.
And
Where
that's
just,
cool, and
like,
that's really cool
Batman was
for.
just kind of like.
But yeah, it's very character kind of specific, right? Like Batman has that. I like that they're kind of defining those different fighting styles, and then she's got that much more fluid, sort of like flowy, like jump kicky. I don't know
Athletic
what kind of.
badass.
It's like art.
Female
Martial
warrior.
arts.
What you'd imagine
Yeah.
is
No, I was trying to think of what
Xena with a budget. Yeah,
what
like,
martial art it reminds me of, but
Oh.
I'm drawing a blank
You don't have
right
to
now.
act like you know every martial art, all right,
Well,
buddy?
I'm a professional.
Big Kev Dog, spoiler free. What did you think of Wonder Woman?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah?
It was really nice to watch DC movie and like come out and not be like upset. So
Oh, you didn't see Batman v Superman? That's weird.
no, I
So
did. It
oh,
sucked.
My
The
apologies.
expectations
Yeah.
were low. You were
My
expecting to be
expectations-
upset.
I mean,
My
that's 100% true. I think
Yeah.
I think everyone who's ever seen a movie is expecting this. Not like whatever. It's going to be a DC film.
Yeah.
So it was exciting that when the reviews hit, it was like everybody loves Wonder Woman. I was like, oh, thank Jesus, finally.
We needed one.
Yeah.
Put this in the win category.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly,
for sure.
exactly. So before we jump into spoilers, Nick, everybody should see this movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hunter,
Definitely.
Alexis.
Yes.
I think you should see it too. I will say that, and we'll get to that later. I've seen all the. I'm not like I don't feel motivated right now to go out and watch it again. I saw
Sure.
it.
Oh,
that
really?
That was good. Don't get me wrong. It's not that I didn't like it. I'm just not like. Yeah, I think when it gets to a Virgin America plane seat, yeah, I'll be all over it. I'll be excited to see it again.
Your preferred method on
My preferred method of seeing movies. Yeah,
When you
jump
run
right
into
out.
it accidentally.
Yeah, no. When it's there.
He chooses it, Hunter. He just likes to watch it on a screen that's this big while it's moving back and forth with some kids pounding on the back of it.
All right, let's go into Spoiler City, ladies and gentlemen. This is your chance to get out. We like Wonder Woman. Now we're ready to go into it. So,
Oh, thank God.
You did really well.
You made it. You made it. You survived.
yeah, we keep them short. We keep them short. Most people, they just get into it anyway. Yeah, like, again, it was stacked against it. And so, like, when they said, here's my, and this is, I will try my best, as I did with Batman v Superman, and I do with all these movies, not to do the, well, I'm a comic book fan, blah.
Sure.
If they would have given me the chance not to fuck up the DC cinematic universe, Nick, they had it all laid out so well. Man of Steel, whatever, say whatever you want about it, right?
Sure.
They set it up where it all could have been great. You've all heard my fucking theories about how great before it came out Batman v Superman could have been. The fact that you're mashing up, Batman's got a real reason to dislike him, the whole Metropolis disaster, this makes sense, we can make it dark and make it gritty. In fucking Man of Steel, they find that Kryptonian ship in the Arctic, and one of the pods is open. One Kryptonian survived when they came here millennia before to Earth. You know what I mean? All they had to do for Themyscira to make sense was be in this world, because again, Marvel does this great, right? Thor is not an actual god. He comes from another dimension, or
like
another,
a scientifically
another
advanced
galaxy
thing.
or
It
whatever.
just looks like magic, right?
Exactly. They could have just fucking had it, man. That one Kryptonian survived, came out, hung out on Earth for whatever, mated. They had this island of people who, for some reason, insulated, didn't go out, but stood there, and that's how they got to this. So for me, the fan, and this is again why Wonder Woman wants to show up in the Justice League, great. Don't bring any of your Greek god bullshit with you. You know what I mean? But like, guess what? There is/was a god in the DC universe, and it was Zeus. Everything you read about Greek gods was real, and that's it. That's theology of the DC universe. Oh, you need proof of a god? There she is. Not an alien, no science fiction, nothing.
Right.
Just fucking God.
But isn't
Damn
that,
it.
and I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but aren't you just describing the DC like universe? Like, isn't this just
100%?
DC? And that's what you got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately.
But that's what I'm saying is that the seed of Man of Steel, they could have done it where we want to take the good part.
Things Man of Steel.
We could have taken the parts. We could have taken the parts of Batman Begins that makes sense.
Yeah.
Of a darker world, a grittier world, a grounded world, and made it all grounded.
Yeah, I
and
think
not done Marvel weirdness.
I see what you're saying with that, but I don't. But the Zeus stuff, like that origin doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, it didn't bother me at all
Yeah.
either.
I think it's cool, and like
Yeah.
I actually liked. I liked that sort of like design for him. I liked the intensity from him. I liked that they kind of played around with who was the god of war, even though you kind of knew it wasn't either of those two people.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. You know, the one complaint that I always have is that, you know, you always have to have, like, if you have this godlike character, you have to have another god fight him, otherwise it's fucking boring. Like,
Yeah.
it was cool watching her go through the town and do all that stuff, but at no point did I think these guys are going to stop her. Like, she's a freaking tank, for Christ's sake.
See, this is the other thing which I was talking about, though, where I was like, kind of, one of my number one comic book movie faux pas is, wait, how strong is she? Wait, why am I questioning this? So, you talked about this. You had an interesting stance on it. But on Themyscira, she gets hurt in that battle and has a cut on her, right? And
Yeah.
then they take it away. I'm like, oh, weird that you're healing so quickly. It's like, okay, she heals quickly, great. And then she goes out there and she's getting all the shit and she's doing this. And then it's just like, well, wait, can you fly? Can you not? Can you do this? Can you not? Can you get shot in the head and be okay? Like, I don't understand what we're doing anymore. And then eventually, your theory is?
Well, my theory was that when they set it up that Ares was getting stronger as she kind of got closer and closer to him and closer to like revealing to herself who she really was. And so I thought by proxy of that, she was also getting stronger. So as they got closer to the face-off, they were both getting stronger to the point where they had to fight each other. It wasn't explicitly said.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed that in the back of my mind that she was getting more powerful.
What I took
as
away
went
from
on.
it was when, you know, they're having the fight scene. She's like, you don't believe in yourself, Diana. And she's like, no,
Sure.
I do. And then I was like, no, you don't. I thought, oh, since she doesn't know she's the ultimate weapon, she doesn't know that she could do all this different stuff.
Which I'm unclear why the mom didn't just tell her. Maybe when she got
She
older.
had the one line where she was like, the more she knows, the faster it'll come.
The faster he'll find her.
The faster he'll find her, which was never
If you
really...
know he's gonna find her.
But
Yeah, which he kind of, in
was
spoilers, he
looking
was
for
like,
him.
hey,
I've
I've
been watching
known about
it.
you
Yeah,
all
exactly.
along. Like,
Yeah.
which didn't make much sense.
I've just been
you know?
doing my stuff over here.
And she's like actively looking for him. So I'm like, Mom, you just wasted us so much time.
Yeah, I could be back by lunch.
Yeah, right.
I could get him and come back. It's not a big
But
deal.
back to those people, and one of the things I don't want to talk about, I did not expect. I guess I just haven't paid enough attention to the trailers because I've seen the Themyscira fight in the battle over there. I didn't realize they were fighting the Germans. or whatever.
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome when they came through. I was like, "Holy shit, fuck! This is
that was
about to
cool.
go on." Yeah, all right,
Bows
cool.
and swords versus machine guns.
Yeah. And then they were like, "Yeah, you have guns or whatever, right?" And I was like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, she got shot to death. I really don't understand what's happening here."
Yeah, and see, that's where my knowledge kind of ends of the DC universe. I don't know how powerful all the Amazonians are supposed to be.
Yeah.
My only touchstone for that is seeing them in the animated series, and they're like badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, they can give Wonder Woman. So in my brain, it's a whole island of Wonder Woman like Women.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman's. What would be the plural for that?
Wonder Women, I would call them. I mean,
Got it.
I guess technically, well, no, there's only
Wonder Woman's proper nouns. It doesn't matter. A whole island of people equal in power, if not a little bit less powerful than Wonder Woman on this island. So I'm like, bullets. I don't know, and maybe that just needs to be more clearly defined. But that's kind of the same problem that we have with Superman as well. As we're like, how strong is Superman? You know,
strong.
It's the old school like let's just punch harder, like let's punch through it. Like at the end of Man of Steel, he's just like, well, this thing's really powerful. Oh, look at that! Look what I did, everyone! I just thought harder, and now I'll just punch through this thing. So I don't know.
At the end of this movie, she's wrapped in steel, and then she's like, "Oh right, love." Now I'm gonna kill everybody.
Yeah, that's what I thought was the powers when she realized she saw the sacrifice, the love, whatever.
Yeah, I like that, and I liked that part too. I like that she was like that was the thing that pushed her over to like becoming the person she needed to be. It wasn't necessarily for me. It wasn't love. It was her realizing that there's something worth fighting for. It was that he was willing. They had that conversation right beforehand when she was like, "You guys are all just basically humanity is just all vile and evil, and you're useless." And he goes and basically just went off and showed her that that's not true. He just sacrificed himself for mankind. And so, in my opinion, I was like, "Oh, that's cool." She saw that and was like, "There is something worth fighting for. I haven't been stupid this whole time. This thing I believed in is not." She even talks about like this is what I choose to believe in.
Yeah.
And like belief is really strong, and so boom, fuck up Professor Lupin.
Yeah.
Let's go get Harry Potter.
The final quote, though, right? It was just like it was basically there's light and dark in every human, and they have to make the choice. But the capacity to love is what humans have, which is greater than anything that Ares saw.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool, and I thought that built
sick.
Yeah.
Into I thought that worked out well at the end. I was expecting her to get pissed and then Superman punt Ares out of the way, and she didn't. She did some like weird flip kick at him. So some of the action was just a little bit weird in that regard, but I thought it worked. Yeah,
I felt a little like you say when you're watching a fight scene, you're like, are you worried for Wonder Woman? I felt like they made it look like when she was in the fights with the guns, like if she got hit by a bullet, maybe it could have been because she did get cut.
Yeah.
So you saw that. There was potential. So it made the fight scenes to me a little more enjoyable than like Superman. Just like doesn't matter how many walls you break him through, he's fine.
But did she see bullets now in like slow motion?
Apparently,
like,
Well,
sometimes
she's super fast, but then also. Like, I hate to tell everyone, but if you get knocked fucking 4,000 feet into the air and then smashed to the earth, that's probably harder on your body than a bullet.
Sure.
Like, that's going to cause more damage.
And that's where it started getting wavy. I could have done another, even if it was just Steve being like, man, you seem like you're getting stronger. You seem like
something's crazy.
A little bit of like,
hey, that guy just threw a freaking telephone pole at you and smacked you with it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the whole thing, right?
Because like, stride. You're pretty good still.
Because there seemed like when she was marching against the guys who were all firing on her,
guns.
she's knocking all this stuff down. I was like, that was awesome. That's awesome. But she gets pinned down to that 1 second, and it was like, okay, in this moment, bullets can still hurt her. And then she jumps onto the sniper, and the whole building collapses on her. And you're like, I don't fucking get your powers right now. I don't understand
Also,
what you're vulnerable and invulnerable to.
As much as how much does that suck for the town? They were like, it was the one building still standing. You fucking ruined it.
I don't.
They seem pretty happy about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Also,
they're happy
guys,
about it.
really, we're
Dance.
just underutilizing our forearms at the end of the day is what I kind of.
Oh, just this.
Yeah.
Well, I did.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool too. I thought at first I didn't grasp that she was like fully in armor with the shield.
Yeah.
So like when she made that stance, and I was like, well, how's she gonna protect her? Oh, her legs are protected and her arms are protected.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
No,
I was like,
they
that's
did-
a fun little touch.
It looked cool.
They had a couple weird moments in it though.
Sure.
Let's get weird.
There was a couple moments that I was like, you didn't need to do that, and it's fine because we're not gonna go into the odd roughly hour that is Batman v Superman, filled of weird moments. Like, when he feeds him the lollipop for no reason. Doesn't matter.
He was a creepy villain, and it was showing that was an impotent fucking congressman.
Yeah. Okay. There was a couple moments where I was like, that was weird. Like when she turns around for 15 minutes and then turns back around.
Okay, it wasn't 15 minutes, but it was super awkward.
That was really awkward.
And then,
When they're walking through the trench, no, I want to talk about it. When they're walking through the
Yeah.
trench, and they're like, oh, and she's like, I'm going to do something. I'm like, yes, this is a fucking awesome superhero moment.
Great
and
moment.
then it is, I'm like, where is she going to duck? And no. And she just turns her back and does like,
And then,
there's
like,
you see her head go like this, and then she turns around, she's got a tear. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that was a little weird. It was
wish
a
I
little
had it
weird
like
that.
That wasn't as weird as putting a lollipop in the senator's
That's
mouth.
true.
Alright, I
That's
get
true.
you.
That
That's-
was-
that's-
Subtext.
Let's get real.
What monster would write
what a
that into a
comparison.
screenplay and then go
All right.
film it? And then there was the moment like where she sees Ares and realizes she's never soared, and then we cut back.
That was a weird edit.
Yeah, that was.
I was like, why did we need
Right
that?
back.
Like,
Is that what you said it like in the theater?
yeah, I was like, why did she do that? Like, she should have stabbed him and just taken the fucking knife out,
Exactly.
or the sword
exactly.
out.
Yeah, because they do the thing where she reaches for it, and then she realizes she doesn't have it, and then
Which
yeah,
you
they
think
cut.
was, I'm sure something got cut out. I'm sure there was supposed to be something else
Because
there
I
or
mean,
whatever.
it would have played fine if it would have just been like her hopping up and coming back down. And it would have just been like, oh, this guy's not at all worried about her. Like, that's cool. He's a scary villain.
Yeah.
And just like he was when he popped outside.
It's a
So
very
that was-
BRB moment.
Yeah,
Like,
that was weird blocking.
Yeah.
There are a few things like that. There was the scene on the boat that I thought was a little bit awkward. That
Which
was
one?
where she
I
was like,
liked the boat
"Come
scene.
sleep next to me," and it was like, okay, it's a little weird. It's going a little fast, but I guess we only have a couple days together. So
Well, she didn't
let's-
mean like sleep with. You know what I mean? That was the whole thing.
Well, it was,
Like,
it was
means something
supposed to be a
different her.
flirty thing. I just felt like that scene didn't work that well.
As I was telling you in the car, I think the reason they did that is the fact that I think every mainstream person in the audience who doesn't know anything about Wonder Woman is going to be like, wait, she doesn't know what a man is? Does she know how fucking works? Blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, here, we'll explain. No, I understand how reproduction works and that we don't need men for pleasure. Good night. And rolls over. It's like, dude, cold. Damn.
Okay, I get
But
that.
you
I follow
also
that.
showed that it seemed like the guy was a good guy. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, he
gonna
was doing the right thing.
respect
Yeah, yeah.
you,
That's
you know,
true.
and she, so it kind of built their slow paced relationship in a fast paced
But we also
movie.
already saw him naked, so it's like,
That's
Yeah.
true. And he
like
looked
that-
That
really,
scene was
really
awkward,
good.
I felt.
Yeah.
That was very awkward.
It was like I was, and well, granted, like we were watching it, and it was like, okay, like it seemed like we were trying for a pacing and a beat in comedy stuff there that
Didn't
didn't
work,
play.
yeah.
You caught a double entendre with you let that little thing. And I was like, damn,
so
that's
she
a
was,
good one.
with the little pun where
Yeah.
she's making fun of the watch, but could be his piece.
Right.
You know, you let that
Said
little
what I
thing
was
rule
doing.
your world.
Those moments were kind of awkward, but not nearly. I think they all paled in comparison to the fact that like they had the obligatory "let's put our team together," and that team did absolutely nothing in the entire movie. Like nothing. I think the Indian chief stole a car, and that was the most useful those guys got the entire time.
The other guy, Sammy, he got him in. He fast talked his way in without the
Oh,
invitation.
yeah.
Right?
That's true, I guess.
Yeah.
But I felt I'm like those characters are kind of throwaway,
And he
and I
changed
don't
hats
understand why
very
they're here.
quickly.
Really quickly, yeah.
Really
yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
He really
Now,
did.
yeah, I won't say that I'm a world traveler, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to come out here and tell you I'm one of the most cultured men in the world. I feel like the German army could see through a bad Colonel
You think-
Clink impression from Captain Kirk pretty quick.
You don't think that if we were all if we were in a world war and someone showed up and they were like,
Oh,
well, hello there, Americans. I'm John Wayne. I'm like, you're German. You
And I
are
was like,
fucking
all
German right there.
All right.
I forgot my pass or whatever it was.
Chris Pine, he's getting past the dumb security guard, no problem. Then
Sure.
he goes up to like
main villain?
number two main villain in the movie. He's like, hey, what?
Colonel Clink.
Have you seen Hogan's Tunnels? Yeah, I was like, all right.
Yeah, that was a little weird. I mean, again,
But that was the problem where, like, for that thing that when you tell me you're getting buddies together and you're gonna do a war-y heist movie, we're going
Right.
against it, and I was like, before we knew he was the bad guy, when he walked in, he's like, here's the money, and you guys got to go do this secret mission.
Sure.
I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. This is gonna be a fun thing. And then you get there and like the sniper's one job to snipe. I can't do
Didn't
it.
do it.
All right, well, fuck. All right, whatever.
Yeah.
And then everybody else is just useless in this thing.
Yeah, the Native American chief is like, he's supposed to be, hey, I can find anyone, and he just does one smoke signal. Yeah. And you're like, like not
You
a,
had
not
to
a
have
good
it
look.
though. You had
Yeah,
to have the
you
smoke
did.
signal.
You
Where do you
did.
go to
But
find
also
the
the
general?
chemist, couldn't they
Smoke
I
signal.
guess, or with it just,
combined
I
the
don't know.
chemist in that one.
It makes you feel good about being a loser, you know? He wanted to be a
Yeah,
sniper and he
whatever.
just couldn't do
Those
it.
two
There it is.
characters.
You know, there was the
Yeah.
one comment he said, not everyone gets to be what they want. And I felt it.
But someone should have been what they wanted in that group, I
Yeah.
think. I just felt like they were very underutilized. Like, and don't get me wrong, I love Spike from Trainspotting. I love that character. I love that actor. I love all those guys. I just felt like, why? You know,
Yeah.
it's the same problem I had with Captain America.
And
I was
that's
like,
what I told you. I was like, they're
who
getting their
are these
zany
people?
team together. And
Why?
it's the exact same thing. Where I mean, I kind of remember the guy in the bowler hat with the mustache.
Yeah.
Remember him?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
He was strong. That was his deal.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't remember that part, but yeah, okay, he had that. Yeah.
I don't know. But I
Yeah.
mean, that's a minor criticism.
well, I mean,
I
that's
liked
what
those
this whole thing-
characters. I thought
All
they
right.
were fun. They were comedic relief too.
So I don't think anyone really cared for this but me because some of this relates to gaming.
Yeah.
Like the Injustice, the Ares was really cool. He did all the Ares moves. But the multi-shot from the Amazon, Did y'all think that was sweet? I've never seen that. That's
the
like such
shield
a
thing?
gamer thing. Like,
That's
she
cool.
shot the 3 arrows.
Dude,
Yeah.
first
Come on,
off,
that's sweet.
Which also like
shout out to Robin
Wright.
Wright Penn. Right? Yeah, that was dope. That was
was
dope.
dope.
She was
Some of the bow
amazing.
fighting stuff, like there was another one where she like clipped some dude with the bow and then like side shot it this way. I don't know. They did some cool bow
Yeah,
tricks.
they did some really good, and that's
I've
the thing,
never
like,
seen.
they did really good choreography in this. There was a
Yeah.
couple things
The
like
fight
there was
choreography.
another moment where she when she was fighting when Wonder Woman was fighting like inside, she like grabbed someone's rifle and then just
Breaks it over her
snapped
back.
it like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
as she was punching someone else. I was like, that was dope. And then she just kneed some fucking poor son of a bitch
Right through the
out
window. And Chris
I was
Pines
like-
running like, holy
I was like,
shit.
Jesus.
There was a guy flying
Yeah.
out the window.
Yeah, but
cool
then it's also
scenes.
one of those things where it's like, yo, I've been fighting this war for a real long time, and I just saw her do that. I am not going into a battle ever again.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I'll just let her go, and I'll be the guy that sneaks over there and steals the book from now on, or whatever the hell it's gonna
Yeah.
be. You know, it's hard. It's so hard to watch humans, and I think Man of Steel had the same problem. Like humans do shit when Superman is literally flying around at light speed doing other cooler shit. You know, like we had the same problem with Chris Maloney. Like, I'll pilot this plane. It's like, okay, cool,
A
I
good death
guess.
is its own
We don't
reward.
really need you.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's like Superman could have just thrown that fucking thing into the other ship,
He had
and
his
boom,
other
we're
things
ready to
to
rock
do.
and roll. Yeah,
He had to
he
go
had
over
to
there.
punch through
Remember,
the
he had to
squid
go
monster.
through it. Exactly.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought-
Also, so
I
she
respect
can
that.
breathe in that.
The gas? Can she? We
She
don't
sure
know.
can.
She walked right in it.
Sure
What's his
can, I
butt?
guess. That's one of
Chris
her
Pine,
powers.
right? Like
yeah.
he was coughing when he got like
And that's what
someone
I was
near
the thing
it.
when she ran up. I'm like, is she gonna burn her skin? No, she's just going right into it.
She still looks perfect.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that chemist I felt like was
So
kind
perfect.
of like pointless.
Yeah, she
Well,
wasn't.
I felt like they could have combined her and what was his name?
Well, she existed to make you think the other guy was Ares. That was the whole
Lutenberg?
point of her.
Yeah.
If she hadn't been in there, then you'd have liked that guy's.
Well, couldn't he have just like developed that gas and like smelled it himself and been like, oh yeah, I'm Ares.
Yeah, but I think that they like the whole point of Ares was that he was supposed to enable, not do. Like he was just supposed to like tempt people with things.
Well, that's what we found out later.
Yeah.
Right.
But there was that good scene early on too,
sorry.
where like when she had all the papers balled up and he did his drugs, there was a gust of wind that blew her the one thing. I was
Right.
like, "That's right, Ares." I forgot. I had
Yeah.
already forgotten about him at
Yeah.
that point, and then you saw his like influence or whatever of him getting in there.
So I didn't
No.
know that was like an Aries thing. Instead, he
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
They didn't. It
Whispers
wasn't very
things.
well set up. It should have been. There should have been like a Harry Potter or something like that that you heard. You know, like I don't know. It's because we got out of the movie. She's like, I didn't like Ares at all. Jen says this, and I was like, why? She's like, because I don't like that they took and corrupted Professor Lupin from Harry Potter. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it was hard to
unforgivable.
see.
I did.
Maybe he's got to keep working.
And I thought he was. I thought he was awesome. Like when he came in, like
I
you
liked
said,
him,
to
yeah.
like build the gang that's gonna go do
Yeah.
all this
Yeah, it's fun.
cool
There
stuff.
was this one scene.
like,
Did he
yes.
get really
I thought it was
ripped
cool.
for the film? There
No,
was
I
like
think that
one.
was like
That's
facial
all
Okay,
CGI.
all
Yeah, yeah,
CGI.
That was good.
It was weird seeing his face with the mustache and then like Aries God because I'm
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't really see you as Aries God because you're. Mr.
I thought it was going to
Lupin.
be like one of those things
Yeah.
where his face peels back or whatever, and he was just
werewolf?
going to be
But you
Ares.
still see you still see his kind of old mustachy face.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, "Oh, we're
That was
sticking with
amazing.
it. Then that's what you look like. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What a god.
honestly, my
What a
thing is,
god.
I
That's
thought
right. I
that
didn't
looked better than I expected it to.
It did,
When they were
actually.
like, Ares is in it. This is the guy who's the voice of it. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, whatever. I'm not expecting that to pan out well or whatever. And then to get there, I was like, you know, this doesn't look that bad.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I thought all the Ares stuff was cool. Like I liked that it wasn't this big imposing buff character. I liked that it was this old man because like that's who it would be. It's a guy who cares. He's a god.
Yeah.
He can look like whatever he wants. And I loved that the one freaking awesome shot where the armor's like melting around him and he just
Yeah.
pokes
That
his
was
own eyes
sweet.
out.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
like
fucked.
pulls it out. I'm like, all right, that's fucking really intimidating.
That
Yeah.
was
Like I
Yeah.
would not want to fight this guy. But yeah, and I thought the armor was cool. And I thought that last fight scene was cool. You know, the third
Yeah,
act
me
was probably made the least amount of sense.
But that's, I
You
feel,
know?
any superhero movie, right?
You know, but the Chris Pine thing where he's like, I gotta fly this thing, and I'm
He
like,
had to.
I know he had to, but
The
I'm
only thing that didn't
like,
make
why
sense-
did you bring this fucking team with you? These are clearly the people that are supposed to go on this plane. There's not one guy that can disarm a bomb in this.
You know how
Well,
boring
just go
though.
and shoot it.
You know
That's
how
all you
boring
can do.
it is?
Run and shoot.
How boring would it be just for them two to go do that whole thing? You got to have a couple other
No,
little
yeah.
dudes to doodle
I was
around and be
expecting
not
one
as
of
cool
his-
as you because you two are the cool ones.
Or they could have just
but I was
left
like
the plane
expecting
on the ground.
one of his friends to be like,
And
it
no
still
one
would've
would've
blown
had to
up.
die.
It still would have blown up. They would have killed
Something
everyone in a
cool?
50-mile radius.
well, like I don't know.
I mean, if they shot it, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Teamwork, the
I
teamwork
remember
was
they were
on an
timers.
all-time low. It was
Yeah.
basically Wonder
were
Woman.
oh, to
hiding
drop
on
it.
the
You're
side.
right. You're right.
it's
You're
gonna
right.
happen no matter what.
You're right.
Yeah, they had. I mean, not to do another call out to another World War II movie, but that was the exact same problem with Captain America, right? Like he had to fly it out into the ice.
Yeah, well, you just
Yeah.
gotta get rid of the thing.
And I like that they did do a good job of answering all my logic questions though, because this is one thing I can't stand in movies where I'm like, because you're right, he had to fly it, right?
Yeah.
Why can't it leave it on the ground? It's going to explode no matter what. Okay,
Yes.
fuck, you got me on that one. Okay,
Yeah.
why can't we just fly it over the ocean? I guess you'd still die. Or maybe there's a parachute on there. Nope, you just kick the one dude with the parachute out the fucking door. So I guess you're screwed
I didn't
now,
pay
right?
attention to that guy.
Yeah, there was.
That's
They
smart.
made sure there was one
I
guy.
didn't even catch
The pilot
that.
was like, "Ah!" And they got kicked out. And he had a parachute on, and I was like, "There's not another parachute in this thing. You can't kick it up." But I guess you got to make sure you point the Luger right at it and blow it up. And that's how gas works. Hydrogen, I
Well,
guess.
there-
Is that chemistry?
There were bombs back there. Yeah.
Yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
But
I
I
like
guess-
how you're talking about they answered all your logic questions. My question remains: what happened to the woman whose dress she took?
Oh yeah.
She's like, oh, you're my size. She breaks her neck and takes the dress, or is there a naked woman outside of the floating string?
That is a great
That
question.
is a great
I was
question. I
expecting
forgot about
some
her.
kind of throwback when in the party or something. No, we just never found out what happened to that woman. I'm sure there's a deleted scene that's very comical
Yeah.
of her talking to the chief or whatever and him giving her a coat or some shit.
Yeah,
But we did not get that. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
not get that at all.
I hope
Yeah.
so too.
But I enjoyed it. It was
I
fun.
thought so too.
Even for, like I said, my hangups and the deck stacked against it, I liked it. I didn't not like it. I knew if they're going to play DC that way, that's how they're going to do it. I loved, this is something that I talked about, I think, in the early trailer rewinds we did, I think with GameSpot back in the day, I don't even fucking know anymore, of when she put on the glasses, and I'm like, they're going to make a comment. I thought it was going to be her, but I liked that it was the secretary. But then what I really liked is, and I haven't seen an interview about it, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to recognize or anything. I loved the gender swap of the Superman the movie scene. Remember this from when, and it's really fucking obvious of when, you know, how she blocks the bullet for him. It's
right, when
it's
when he's about to get robbed.
It's not frame for frame or anything, but it's literally they took the same framing from when in Superman the movie the gun comes out from behind a building and he goes, "Come over here" to Lois Lane and Clark and brings him into the alley. And the same thing happened here with the gun coming out, and then instead of Clark grabbing the bullet, it was her blocking the bullet with her thing.
That was cool.
That was really cool.
That was
I like
cool. I didn't
one.
catch that, but that was cool.
Yeah, you look at them. Look at them. There
I
they
know,
are.
I know.
Yeah.
Start utilizing these forearms, guys.
Got to. That's how it is. So yeah, what did we not cover?
Well, I think that was good. I mean, overall, I thought it was great. I think it's a really good step in the right direction for DC.
Do you think it's going to catch some flack in the feminist community? Because that's been the big thing about this movie's, hey, a strong female lead, great. But then in the end, it is still, man,
Something
I did it
happens
all.
to a guy.
I fell in love with this guy real quick.
See, I think I think yes, it will catch flack, but I don't think that was the message at the end for me. The message wasn't I fell in love and because some guy completed me, I'm able to be this thing.
Sure.
That's not what I took away from it.
Okay.
What I took away from it was because he loved her and because he loved humanity, he sacrificed himself, and that proved to her that there was something worth saving. That's all I took away from it.
I also think
right?
that the fact that there was a female there too, when she looked into her eyes, even though the chemist,
Yeah.
right, like she looked into her and like I don't know what she saw, but she saw something to fight for. But I think with the argument
I
here,
think she just saw her as just a person with both good and evil in her, just
is
a
like
normal
she
person.
didn't really believe in herself till I think she thought about like, let me think
Love.
back to that Chris Pine character.
That was another one of those weird moments though.
You
Where it
know?
was like you couldn't hear him then, but then you remembered hearing him.
And while the
It's a
tape
little
was over your head, I'm like,
strange,
well,
yeah.
and then I was like, well, she knows a bunch of languages. Maybe she's a lip reader, but why wouldn't she lip read on the spot? And she have a great memory? Is that one of her powers too? Like, huh.
I mean, I guess it's Fog of War. You're,
Maybe.
a lot
Yeah,
of crazy
yeah.
shit's happening, and
Yeah.
she took that one moment to realize what he said to her. But I was hoping.
It'd be cool, it'd be better if he's just like, I'm gonna get the plane in the air, then you jump up and save me. All right? You
That's
got
what he
it?
should have said.
Yeah. Look at the watch. In 50 seconds, jump up and grab me.
Yes.
I'll be back.
Side movie. That would have been awesome. Oh, if you've seen the movie,
We just met. I don't know.
don't let me die.
Yeah.
that would have been a
was
really good
Let me
twist.
die.
I have so much to live for, please.
You love me, right?
Good movie.
Yeah, good,
Yeah.
good movie. Good movie.
I
Very
was
enjoyable.
Are you not entertained?
I was
Yeah.
entertained.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was entertained. That's a good way to put it.
But-
Yeah.
Exactly.
I also think that the question wasn't should the feminists be mad. It was are they going to catch flack? But isn't that what your question was?
Yeah.
I think they're going to catch some flack.
You think so?
Sure, but I mean-
But I do
Probably.
think that your point is valid.
I mean,
I agree,
they're
yeah.
already catching flag for having the movie's already catching flag
Every
for
movie
Well, that's
catches
what I'm
flag.
saying.
Especially if
women-only
it's good.
screenings, things like
Well,
that. So I know
women-only
that hasn't
screenings.
to do with the content of the movie. I'm like, but obviously it's a hot button subject for a lot of people.
It's one of
and I
those
think
like it's the internet.
Yeah.
Everything's gonna catch flack for everything.
If
Yeah.
you're excellent,
What
you're
are we
going to
mad
catch
at?
flag. Yeah, everything
Yeah, exactly.
catches flag for
That's
us.
true.
true.
Yeah. But
Well
I thought it was
said.
good.
Yeah.
You're a big time feminist. You love women. What do you? Was it a good representation of strong female characters?
Yeah, I thought Gal Gadot.
We're all gonna for the rest of our lives. Everybody's gonna get to that
Gadot.
precipice and be like, "Gadot."
I thought she did a really good job. She was really strong, and I don't know, I felt like she really owned that role.
100%.
And I don't feel like in some of the roles that I have seen her in, she's done that, like in Fast and Furious. And,
Be careful.
I know.
Let's not get into this.
keeping up with the Joneses and stuff.
Keeping up with that's just that was one of those.
So I thought she was. I thought she was really good, and I thought this was a really good movie. I go back to just that moment, but it could be interpreted both ways.
Sure.
That one moment where she does. I wish that they hadn't made it even make you question as an audience member whether or not it could go that way.
It's almost like I wish he didn't say "I love you" at the end of it.
Yeah.
Because I wish he'd have just been like, "I have to go do this. I'm sorry. I wish we had more time," and would have walked away. That would have totally taken all of it away.
That would have been
you knew
love
they
without
cared for each
saying
other,
love,
but it
yeah.
wasn't about that. It
Yeah,
wasn't
that's a
like
great point.
this is war. This is not about and that was his whole character too. Was about doing the right thing no matter what.
Especially because she didn't really listen to him throughout the whole film, and I don't know. Sometimes I felt like his character was just like a little whiny. Like, oh, you're wearing the wrong clothes. Oh, you gotta do this. You gotta do. And it's like, God, just lay off her. She's from a different planet. Like, like
she doesn't know our customs.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
chill, man. And then all he fed her was an ice cream. So it's like, I don't know. So that kind of
It was her first.
That was the only
ice cream.
thing
She
you
never
saw
asked
her
me
eat
before.
yeah.
Although it's
but-
really sad and very telling that she was very instantly addicted to sugar. Right
Yeah.
there. That's the problem.
Their taste buds are just like ours. You know what I mean? That's really what it
Susceptible
comes
to
down
diabetes as well. You got to be careful.
No, you're fine.
they're not.
And then I need help because I've only seen Batman v Superman 5 times. I thought we started with her in a much more negative spot, though. I'm just like, I've seen the horrors of
It looked
things,
like
and
she
I
hated people.
exactly.
Like I thought Chris Pine was gonna like betray her somehow,
Yeah, me too.
but instead she found love.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
She's like,
what?
oh, I've seen the good and it's love.
Wait,
I'm
so
like,
then did she stop in
is there
between?
a story in the middle there where she gets
Yeah.
more angry at everybody? Is it World War II?
Although I will say
Wonder
this.
Woman
Maybe the
Two.
evil was the poison that she saw.
No, I mean, the evil's the
Wait, but
man's
it's-
inhumanity to man.
'cause she's
sure.
not done. Like that last scene was her like going off in Paris.
Well,
Which,
Well, that was today. That's
Yeah, that was
caught
like
up.
now
That's caught
time.
up.
She
Yeah.
was talking
Yeah.
when she had
Yeah,
the Bruce
so she
Wayne
had
when we,
stopped.
but when we meet her in Batman v Superman, she's like, I've seen the horrors men can do.
yeah,
She seems very much like I'm
Yeah.
not doing the superhero thing.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
weird.
I thought. But then she is.
Yeah.
But that's modern now. She's caught up. This is after. It's very confusing.
It is very.
What
I'm
he's saying
confused.
is how they represented her in Batman v Superman, which is also modern time, doesn't jive with how she ends this movie, which is also in modern time. Like when she walks out the window, she's in modern day.
Okay, no,
Yeah.
okay, time out. So here's the timeline I'm arguing about.
Right.
Wonder Woman is cut out the first and last parts of the Wonder movie. So
Right.
just the period piece ends with her being like, man,
This is all great.
I saw love and love made me want to be Wonder Woman, right?
Sure.
Batman v Superman picks up then canonically is the next moment we see her. Picks up with her being like, man, I've seen the man's
Yeah, she's-
inhumanity to man. I
I
just
don't like
fucking
life.
go on
I need my
airplanes.
picture
I need my
back.
fucking picture. And then was it the picture? No, that doesn't make sense. And then at the end of Batman v Superman, Bruce is like, yeah, we got to form this team. Okay. Then she goes back to work in Paris where she gets the thing from Bruce. And then she is being Wonder Woman again. I understand why she's Wonder Woman now. The world needs her. Doomsday's happened. She's come out of hiding. But what happened between the end of Wonder Woman, World War I, beginning of Batman v Superman? I hate people. I love people. I don't know.
I mean, it's a lot, right? I mean, you have to assume
Yeah,
there's.
she's
there's
seen a lot
good-
more shit.
There's
Yeah.
a good 100 years there ish. There's
good
100.
point.
Also,
no,
why can't
80,
she go back
97
to
years?
the mascara? Like, she killed Ares.
I know you can
Like,
go
that
back.
was like
That's
the
always
main
been a
mission.
thing in the
It's like
comic
that's
books,
a
in
right?
stupid
life.
banishment thing, though. Yeah.
Yeah,
she always
once you
come-
leave,
she
you
told her,
can't
yeah,
come
she
back.
always
can't
come
ever
back,
go
though, but
back.
yeah.
I will say this though, it made the picture, the actual like physical picture, a lot more important to me. That
Yeah.
why she
Sure.
would want to get that physical thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was the whole point of it in Batman v Superman. I think in Batman v Superman she was trying to hide from the world.
Yeah.
Whereas like when she got the actual physical picture, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Are you
I'm
gonna
like,
tell me that every story thread in the DC cinematic universe hasn't been thought out from the start? We haven't. You tell me the Cyborg movie might not happen, even though the actor says it's gonna happen in
Look.
2020.
look, sometimes you just got to fly by the seat of your pants on these, and I think that's what they were doing.
Also,
But-
does like Wonder Woman cover just Europe now, and like Batman, Superman cover the United States? Like, how does that?
I'll tell you how Batman Superman ends. It doesn't end well for Man of Steel. I'll tell you that right now.
All right.
He's not taking care of anybody right now. And then, but
Just
here's
take
my,
a little dirt nap.
Did
as
anyone
they say.
see? Did anyone see when she got up and like went up there to look at what was happening? Did they see anything?
No,
I was looking for
I thought
explosions.
yeah, me too.
Because
No, you
Yeah, I
heard
didn't
it,
see
though,
anything.
right?
exactly, it sounded
What?
like boom tubes, right?
Yeah.
I thought boom tubes too, which is how Darkseid's minions
Yeah,
get
yeah,
to
I know
Earth.
the boom
Yeah,
tube.
Oh.
Okay. So I thought that's what it was, and I was like looking frantically to see if I could see parademons or anything.
Everything
That was
was good.
movie was fun. I enjoyed it. Very shitty tie into Justice League. I wanted it to end with, I was hoping when we got to the final picture and started panning out, we'd be in the Batcave or out to lunch with Bruce or something and talking about it.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
But, you know, we got the next best
But she didn't
thing.
even explain it
A
to him
really
in the
nice
email.
stationery.
I know. She right. Thanks for sending me this thing. I'm like, you didn't tell him anything.
Yeah.
You guys aren't friends at all.
She just kind
Dear
of thought
Bruce,
about it.
dope. Thanks with an X.
Too long to type.
She just sends emojis.
Still haven't figured out how modern technology works.
Been here forever.
Been here for 80 years.
All right. I still like Batman v Superman better. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you
No
think of
way.
Wonder
No
Woman?
way.
Let us know in the comments below. Share the video.
did
I'm
you
sorry,
know?
what was that, Kev?
Brutal.
Come on.
Brutal.
I'm dead serious.
No, you're not.
I'm dead
You're
serious.
lying to yourself and your friends.
What is it you said in the minority here?
I am in the minority
are in
here,
the
Hunter. I'm
minority.
aware of that, everybody.
You people.
All right. Oh, what do you mean, you people?
Let's not bring Baywatch into this. Let's just keep going.
Let us know in the comments below. Share the video with your friends. Like, subscribe, all that jazz. And until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.